Always remember, it don't matter how your life started. It don't matter what you went through. You can get it all back. You can make it all yours. Stay hungry. Stay vigilant. Stay pushing forward. Go get it. Life ain't never been a fairy tale. You adapt or you live in hell. Dealing with the shorts and your losses in your mental jail. Stuck on your block flipping. All right, today on Boss Code TV and the Code Podcast, we have Eric Sattler. I say your last name right?
Yes, sir.
All right, from NVision Films. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
Pretty good, man. Did I say Envision? Is that right? Envision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll make sure I'm pronouncing everything right, man. I don't want to misrepresent you.
No, that's good. Yeah, Envision Films, out of Austin, Texas, man.
Yeah, man. This is actually exciting because I can't even remember. I think it was from Sonny, I think, from how we got connected on Facebook years ago.
Right.
But I don't know when you started doing the film work, but I know I watched you grow and grow and grow and grow. And last night I was excited, man, because I was digging through all this stuff. I didn't realize you've done like actual like movie stuff and documentaries and like you had something on the a movie about a series about a pandemic.
Yeah. That's my show called The Third Coast. It's about the kids coming up, kids from Texas coming up and coming out of the pandemic, trying to get back into their normal life, trying to get back with relationships, because even to this day, 2.5 years later, people are just now barely coming out of being confined in their houses and stuff, so
It's wild.
The trying to trust people again. Who's not going to get COVID? Am I going to get too sick from COVID? How do I build my relationships back with my friends, the girls I used to talk to? And are we still in that same? So there's a lot of high school drama, of course, everything that goes on in high school, but it's mostly just capturing how kids change with anxiety and depression, just really touching on a lot of real life situations that happen from kids in high school. Some didn't get to graduate, some didn't get to walk the stage.
Right.
They missed out on that whole 12 hard years of what they were doing in school to walk a stage, and then they never get to do it again. So we're touching all those topics, and they're all real situations, but we're turning it into a series that's worth watching, of course, entertaining and stuff, and
Right.
showing the real life drama at school and all the good stuff that happens in high school. We're still touching on those subjects, but just from the kids' perspective, man, because I don't think nobody really listens to the kids.
Right.
How much they were affected. It was always like, oh, my pockets are hurt, or oh, this, no job, no work. But it's like, nah, man, these kids they were stuck in the house. They weren't able to do nothing. They couldn't go see their friends.
Right.
Their normal routine was hurting. And we're just trying to cover that in because it's very important.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because it's something I feel too. Like I feel like in society in general that the kids often get left out of the conversation, and we should be asking the kids what they think more, because they are the future of the generations. And it's odd that we don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Your show.
they're the untapped.
You said what?
No, they're the untapped. Nobody asks them anything. Nobody seems to adjust to them, and they're unexperienced, so they don't know how to pick themselves up. And I always one thing I'm always teaching my sons is like, I was never taught how to recover after falling. We're told to get up and continue going.
Man, that's deep.
Nobody teaches us like there's like you have to dust yourself off, yeah, but you have to assess yourself. You have to make sure your leg ain't broke, your no cuts on you. Like we forget we still have to do that. It's always just getting up and going again and not worrying about it. But we have to address the situations if we want to move forward.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody last week, and I was talking about how much in males specifically, nobody talks about how males lead the statistics in suicide every year. And I think it's a lot from what you talked about. Males are taught to, oh, you can't cry, you can't have time to figure things out, just get up and go.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
took
it's
my son to the water to throw some rocks last summer, and he fell and hurt his face and stuff, and he was crying. And I picked him up, we sat down, and I let him choose. I said, you wanna go back down there and play some more, or you wanna go home? And he said, I wanna go back down there and play. I let him choose how we were gonna fix the situation, you know what I mean? And talked it out with him and stuff like that. So you're exactly right. It's man, that needs to be its whole the whole episode right there. Seriously.
oh,
Uh
definitely.
yeah, man. When does that series come out? I tried to find it. I thought it was out, but then I realized it wasn't out.
Yeah, so right now we're still in production. We're aiming towards 10 episodes. We're in the span right now of completing 4. Uh, of course, with real kids, these kids are actually in school. Like a lot of them are actually in school, so we had to wait
Oh
till
man.
availability was summertime and um, getting out of their class, and some of the other have jobs now for the summer. So just working around everybody's schedule. We're full time as far as like production and filming. So we try to build our schedule around them to make sure we get everybody involved.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's we've been filming for a little under a year now, and it's just been off and on with COVID. We have to stop production, and
Right.
we have to take our safety and guidelines, and because we have such a big cast and crew, we have to make sure everybody's safe, and uh, whatever anybody believes, we all practice safety first, and responsibility of people. So we have to take that into consideration, and then
Right.
funding. Just trying to find a good uh, consistent source of funding it for locations, and getting food and all the stuff for the cast and the crew daily and stuff like that. So
That's a lot.
uh, it is, man, it's a lot. And we're an up and coming production house, so we haven't been like established with millions of funds and stuff. We're trying to hold this and keep ownership, and contain the value and the core of what the show is really about. We're not looking just to like make something and sell it off. It's like, no, this has a purpose and a story, and we want to control what it does and how it's approached. From the soundtrack, it's very Texas based, or it's very southern region, third coast based, with the artists and the music selection. But it's when people think of Texas and stuff, it's like they think of horse and hay and farms. And I mean, there's plenty of that in the
Yeah.
outskirts of Texas. But I mean, the soul of Austin, Central Texas, man, we're as city could be. I mean, we're tech heavy. We're small Hollywood from San Antonio to Austin. I mean, that's like original Hollywood style stuff. So,
Right.
there's there's a lot of that we're just trying to really bring back, in just the Southern culture of Southern hospitality, Southern slang, the what it do's. You know what I'm saying? Like all
Yeah. Yeah.
the Texas culture. We're trying to show that that's a big part of who Texas is, and how Texas gets known is a lot of the culture that we've established here, in the hip hop community or urban community, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is our community, and I think it doesn't get recognized in the way that it should.
Right.
Versus like like New York, they got their street image and stuff, and people think it's just that, but there's so much more beautiful part of New York inside the urban community, the hood and everything. So there's that, and there's here in Texas too. And I think that's my job, is to show what we're really about out here. And
No
that's
doubt.
what's that's the fun of making this show. I get to create this
Yeah.
world of Texas and how I see it.
I agree with you on the New York thing, because when you think of New York, you all you think of like city life, but people don't realize how much like farmland is out in New York, and you know what I mean, country spaces out in New
Yeah.
York outside of our city. Because people think the same thing about Ohio. I mean, I live in Pennsylvania now, which is basically just like Ohio, but they think it's all like, yeah, I don't know, farm and stuff like that. But we got Cleveland. I mean, Columbus is still the number one. I believe it's still the number one growing city in America. Like, we got some stuff in Ohio. But yeah, that perception.
Yeah.
One thing that I was very pleased to see, because oftentimes when you're first starting to make videos and movies and stuff like that, you often see uh, a a lower form of acting because a lot of
Right.
people are just getting started. I was really impressed with the trailer that I've seen for what you're doing because it seemed like it was legit. I was like, wow, like because I mean I've seen a lot of stuff people do like, okay, I'm working on this, and I'm not taking nothing from them. Like, I mean, yeah, you got to start somewhere, but I expected to see that type of starting somewhere with you. I didn't realize how built up you have become. Like it was some good stuff.
Man, I mean, that's credit to the actors themselves. Uh, Most of them are first time actors.
Wow.
Some of them are from a modeling agency, so they know how to, get into a character like, form of themselves. And then, of course, I have a great DP and an assistant director with me, Russell Reed. I mean, he's dope at giving them, his vision of how he sees things as he's camera operating and moving inside the camera. And me and him work together all the time as far as on the show, as far as like how we want the characters to respond. And where me and him are both on set constantly like giving them an opportunity to find the position versus forcing the position on them, as their role, the character. It's
Right.
I always tell the cast and stuff like, my main thing is y'all have your script, but that's just a guideline for y'all to find who y'all are to connect to this character. And that's how we cast it. Like we Zoom call them, we ask them questions, and based on the look of themselves, our perception of how these cast members look, we're like, okay, you have this look. Let's see what your personality's like. And then we started writing and tweaking the character towards them to fit their natural state of
Mm,
how they are as kids.
wow.
And so, they all like, they connect to the characters like that. They play their positions, I mean their roles, and they know how to get in position to respond versus to be that actor. They take what that actor is giving them, the lines, they take that and then they respond to that versus just reading the lines, which a lot of actors who are coming into this, they're just like, you. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to do that. You can actually say you and respond to how they talk back to you. And then that becomes natural acting. And then it's no longer acting, you're reacting, which is
Mm,
the essence of how the viewer sees it. How would you react as a viewer to that scene? You hope that actor responds like that. So we try to guide them to do that. And they've taken it, and I mean, from every time we go and shoot, man, they just keep getting better. And it's crazy for me because this is my first like full film TV episode, and it's
man, that's
everybody's
exciting.
killing it, man. Yeah, it is.
That's exciting because I knew you were doing. Let's start though. How did you get started in film? And then, as you know, the theme of this episode is finding your reason. How did you get started? And at what point did you find your reason to turn it into what it is now?
Uh, well, like I tell everybody, man, just uh, my pops, man, he always had like some kind of camera, whether it be just a little disposable or he when he finally got that big massive one when I got into sports, he's holding this big old RC VHS, enter VHS and close that money and stuff. So I always saw him, and he would always film us, when we go out of town to like my grandma's house and just trying to capture those moments and stuff. So I was always into like being silly on the camera, and just I love watching videos back. I hated watching myself, but I love watching like the family like laugh at these moments and stuff that I created and stuff. So I was like, man, video has a forever lasting moment. And to this day, we always try to find the old VHS or old pictures and watch them and like just laugh again. And so
Yeah.
being with the homies and doing music and stuff, and like doing and one mixtapes in the front, trying to create my own and one mixtapes,
Oh
and
man.
just doing all of this collective of memories with people. And I found myself always having a camera, disposable, a digital camera, the little small ones that record like 10 seconds and shit. And
Right, right.
so, and then when I turned 18, I had my ID and everything. And I was at a pawn shop and I was able to buy a fucking little Panasonic night vision camcorder with a little switch, and recording music videos, and we're doing shows downtown and stuff like that. So I was just that guy. I had the computer to do it. I had the computer to edit. I knew how to do beats. And so I started creating music videos, and one thing led to another. And I was just like, I don't want to do music like that no more. I got my brother-in-law he's killing it on the mixing and mastering. My other bro, he's killing it on the beats. And I'm just like, well, I guess I'll do video and photos now. So that was my role, and I just
Nice.
stuck with it, and it took me to where I am now. It put me to a position where like I was able to capture other people's ideas and bring them to life. And that's been always my thing. Is like I'm always going to take your vision or your ideas and put them in vision, and that's how I was just like, yeah, let's just run like that. Like that's what our motto for music videos: taking your ideas and bringing them in vision. So
I think it says a
that's
lot
just how I
about
ran.
I think it says a lot about a person's character when they can when they can fall back and say, you know what, I'm gonna make you look good. I'm gonna bring your vision to life. I think because a lot of people don't have that character. We talked about this in the last episode. Is like it's hard. Everybody wants to be the star player, and it's hard to find people who just want to play a role. And I think it's dope that you say, you know what, I'm good at this. Let me fill that pocket. So that's cool, man. Uh, what drives you? How do you how what is your reason? What is your reason why you do what you do? I mean, and I don't mean your reason as far as like, well, I like film or I like this. Like, what's your core reason why you get up every day when you're tired? Because we both know how it is. Like you're tired some days that you still got work to do. You gotta get up and get some stuff done.
Yeah.
What's your driving force, your reason for it all?
Uh, just being first the youngest child, uh, you know, my my siblings would always uh be the first to have something, and from them, the parentals always determine if the younger ones are going to get that and make the same mistake as they did, or so it's like sometimes they made the mistake and I didn't. They had a phone in their room. I couldn't get a phone because they couldn't take care of it or something. Like it'd be
Right.
like I was always stuck with something. So I was like, I've been working since I was 13. My first job was a firecracker stand. And my dad was like, hey, you want some money? They're working a whole week at a firecracker stand. You get $100 a day. I was like, hey, well, let's go do it.
Man,
So I
that's
went
big
out
money
there,
at 13.
bro, man, and I think it was either 4th of July or New Year's. I couldn't remember, but it was crazy busy. So I learned just right there how to be a salesman at 13, because I gotta like describe fireworks and make a commission off of some stuff. And so
Right.
um, I bought my first phone with it, and I was like, yo, this is the best feeling in the world, just making money and buying what I want. And I think just having that freedom of what I want, how I want, when I want, I think to me that's the ultimate goal in life, is just to be free, right?
Yeah.
Financially, mentally. And one of the biggest compliments I've ever had was one of my friends told me after a shoot. He was like, he asked me, what am I doing next week? Book another thing. And I was like, yeah, just hey, let me know any day. He was like, man, you're the only dude I ever know that can just say what he wants, when he wants, how he wants it. And I was like, man, I guess that's what I worked hard for. Like, like I don't want my kids to ever worry about nothing. I'll be broke if they have everything, and I think that's my ultimate sacrifice for them, of course, is like my time away from them. But at the same time, I'm doing it right now. So that way, when they're old enough to appreciate everything, they can have everything. We can do whatever they want with any kind of freedom. And, I don't look at it as small because they're young right now. I look at it as the future of appreciation. My oldest is getting into, he's 12 and my youngest is 8. So by the time that, one's 15 and one's 12 or whatever, that appreciation of money, time, hard work, and all that stuff, all the stuff that I've installed as a parent into them, like I want it to all come in at one moment with everything and no worries. That's the ultimate goal for the family.
I love it. I love it. I feel the same way. You said the freedom. I always say that I want to liberate myself, and I want to liberate my wife and my kids. And one of the main things is I don't want them to have to go work for somebody who's not gonna value them.
Exactly.
But I also always say they can have I want a family business that they can choose if they want to work for or not, because I always want to have that choice there. But I'm sure you've been there, worked for a lot of unpleasant people. I can't say I work for a lot of unpleasant people, but at times in the workforce, there's people who don't value you. You become just a number. You become you give all this time and this energy to somebody else's dream. And I feel like it's a blessing that people produce dreams that can feed people, that can get jobs. So I don't want to say that's wrong, but if you have your own dreams, if you have bigger dreams, then you have to start analyzing, like, man, I'm putting all this time in for somebody else's dream, and I get home and I got about like an hour left in the tank before I'm too tired and then got to do it again. I worked in car sales for years, and we worked 9 to 9. You know what I mean? And all the stuff I do. How can I get that done if I'm working 9 to 9 all the time selling cars? And I used to watch the owner. He walked down, check the numbers, go back upstairs. I'm like, man. And when I seen that one day, I'm like, man, I'm really working for somebody else's dream. I'm a number. I'm a number to this guy. He's looking at the number. He's looking at that. I'm like, so I actually that's the job where I took my leap of faith, actually, and was like, had an office downtown, and so I'm out. One day I came in, and the manager, he just talked real crazy to me one day for no reason. And it wasn't what he said, it was the tone in his voice, and it was like disrespectful for it. So that moment I was like, okay, I got to make this real. But
that's how it was for me, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I think we
2008,
have similar views.
I was working in this dude. I walked into the office after this dude, the manager was just like, nobody's doing nothing. We're not making things happen. And I'm like, okay, I'm over here vacuuming. I'm like, bro, you gave me one job in the vacuum, so that's you. That's your managing skills.
Yeah.
So like I went over there and back to the side of his office, and I was dumping trash, and I just noticed him with his feet up looking at cars. And I'm like, I'm really getting yelled at by somebody who's blaming us for his managing skills or lack thereof. And that was like 2008. I think that was like when I really started going heavy into music videos after that. It was like, dude, I can't. In high school, I was hustling clothes and making money through clothes in the hallway, selling clothes and Gucci and shit like that from New York shit. And shout out to my OG Lil Hustle, man. But that's what we were doing in high school, man. Shit, I was making easily $15,000 to $3,000 a week.
Man,
on clothes.
Really?
I swear, bro. I was like
that's
16
crazy.
years old. I put 2 of my homeboys on it, and I put them on how to do it. I bought them their first batch of clothes like my OG did and shit. I just bought it for them. That told them, hey, this is how you do it, man. I had a binder, a catalog full of clothing and different accessories people can buy. I'd order that for them, get them to pay me back when when they come in. So like I've always known, like I said, man, since I was 13, I knew how to be a salesman, and I just never changed. It's never gotten out of my system. So it's an everyday grind for me. It's my mindset, literally.
Yeah, it's actually dope when you work in sales or customer service. I was a supervisor for a call center for a while, and I used to tell them, like, look, if you can master talking to people, then you can walk in the room and control things. You can control aspects of your fate. You can control aspects of how negotiations, communication is powerful, and the sad part is, in our society, communication is dying off. People don't want to talk anymore because it's crazy. Like I watched the beginning of it all when MySpace came out. Well, I remember when I remember when text messaging first started. and it was cool. And everybody wanted to text each other and do this and do that. And when MySpace came out, everybody wanted to talk. But it's like the more platforms came, the less people wanted to actually talk. You know, now it's
Because
like,
everybody was just listening to too much. People started
yeah,
taking in too much. So it's like they silenced their own voices to take in things. And then when you don't
man, that's
when
deep.
when you don't speak out about it, or when you don't, that's why I say all debates are healthy, whether people get mad or not. I think all debates are healthy. It's just like expressing your feelings and getting them out of you. You have to exhaust if you're going to intake. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a way to
Yes,
exhaust. And people forgot to exhaust for so long that because of society is looking at me, what are they going to think? What is my brand going to take? Like I always tell people, if you focus all your attention on the 1% of people that don't care about you, you're giving 0% to the 99% of the people that actually care about you.
facts.
And same works with business. You got to focus on the 99, not the one. The one will change your mind eventually, but
Right.
another one that will get back in after that. You know what I'm saying? So the inevitable, man. Got to learn how to control those things.
Yeah, it's as deep what you said about people turn down their own voice because they're taking in too much. It's so true. That's why when doing this show, I was just talking to Doug, who's my co-host and partner and sound engineer. He's a dope dude. I was talking to him how I want these episodes when people come on to be therapeutic. I want an opportunity just to talk, have real human conversations, and not just like, oh, what are you dropping, or what's going on, or who's doing this. Like, let's talk
Yeah.
about each other, but let's also talk about the and which is why the podcast is called The Path to Greatness, because people don't see the path. They only see the end result, and they go, oh, he think he this and that. Oh, he got it going on. He got this. Oh, he think this. Like, man, you don't know how long I've been. Like, I know how long you've been doing it. We've been following each other for a long time. You know how long you've probably seen different versions of what I've been doing. Like, I mean, people don't know how much blood, sweat, and tears go into all of this stuff. They only get to see the last touch. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that last touch is usually you're looking at like, man, I'm so glad that's done with. What's the next thing? Like, you don't even get to appreciate it no more because you saw it, you battled through it, you hate it at this point. It's like a love hate, you know what I'm saying? You just
Yeah.
like, it's like your
Yeah.
coach. You don't ever want to see your coach mad because you know he's gonna make your ass run, but he makes you better at the same
Yeah.
time, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah. I mean, there's times I'm sure you experience the same thing. There's times I'm up till 3, 4 in the morning and got to be up again and trying to get as much sleep as I can before I got to get up again and hit the highway and go do some more, whatever it may be, you know. But people don't see that. They only see, and you probably get this more than anybody else, because in the editing aspect, they don't see the hours that it took. They only
yeah,
get to see the glorious video.
yeah, they watch a few 5-minute skim down YouTube videos and think, oh, you can edit that, you can drag and drop. I was like, I don't use presets, man. I
Right.
create everything from scratch because if I go to another computer that doesn't have my presets, what am I gonna look like? I don't
Right.
be in that position ever in my life. I'll touch every button on this damn computer before I ever just say, all right, I'm gonna just depend on a preset. Not to say those who do are bad, because great material still comes from it. But me personally, I don't feel like anything myself, my brand, and my growth I did that already. Like I came from that. So like I love just to claw and scratch and fight my way through it. It puts me in better situations when things get tougher to be able to be past that. Like, oh, I already know it. Don't even worry about that. Click, 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 click. I already got it. Don't worry about that. That's the type of person I set myself up for. So if it takes me longer, it takes me longer. I'm okay with that. I'm not racing nobody, but death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That's smart, because basically what you're saying is you're not looking for a quick fix way to do things. You're looking, because if you always do the videos fast with the preset, then you're not really learning anything and you're not really challenging yourself. And I get that. I like that. And then you can hop in any chair. You can be somewhere and they can say, hey, we got $5,000. We need somebody to finish this video. And you know exactly what to do. That's
exactly.
dope. I like that. What's been what's been a struggle of yours on your path to greatness, while and on your path to continuing your reason?
I mean, like most of us, man, just the 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 non-head start that a lot of us have coming up, financially. Uh, my family wasn't able to invest heavy money into me growing up, or they didn't, my family is Mexican family, so of course, they're tough on having a job, finishing school. They're straight, strict. You do it, but at the same time, it's like when they realized I was who I was at a young age, they never really like questioned they didn't necessarily like support the struggle part, because no family wants to see you struggle. They're like, you're smarter, you're better, get a job, set yourself up for life. But that fight inside of us says, to me, that's like a set. Like, it's no fun. I want this challenge of, I don't know why I accepted it, but I wanted this challenge of having nothing, coming from nothing, feeling you have nothing or nobody, and just fight and claw and learn how to recoup that. What I was saying earlier, I guess, in a sense, would say learning how to analyze myself versus falling down and just moving forward after I get up. I enjoyed the process of analyzing myself and figuring out what's right, what's wrong with myself. What am I doing good? What am I doing bad? How can I fix it? I just didn't want to work a 9 to 5, clock out, and be content with, okay, let's go have some drinks now because I'm off of work. Like,
Yeah.
that never did nothing for me. And when I did do it, I didn't feel like I was achieving anything better for myself. I was meeting more people and having more fun, but it took me away from that 13-year-old love of hustling and finding that next dollar. It took that away. It took me out of that element. And I think I never wanted to go back to that again. So like, I had stopped drinking and I had stopped partying, going downtown, and I just focused on grinding and building my brand up and becoming a purpose versus whatever. Like, I think purpose is a great thing to search for. And it's, do you ever find it? You never know, but you find something along the way that was purposeful. And I think that's like one of those things that can never be taken away from you. And I think that's my ultimate goal, man. Just have things that can never be taken away from me or my family, and uh, become rich and wealthy that way. It's like beautiful to me, and that's what made me just flip and go hard at it.
I love it, man. I love it. I agree with that. I always stress the transitional period part of life. That's the part of life where you get tried and tested, because that's the part where you said you gave up those pleasures, those right now pleasures for a future. And there's so many talented people. I know, just like me, there's so many talented people who will never see success, or you've watched just give up their dream because they couldn't give up uh pleasures, whether it's like going out, or, oh, I gotta be with friends because it's the weekend, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. And I mean, time is, the older we get, time moves faster and faster. So it's like you have to make your time, because it's not gonna make itself.
Yeah, especially with the family and stuff. Like, I, me and my wife, we don't really have our time. We have our time with our kids, or
Yeah,
family time, or work time. And so having, like, creating those boundaries and those schedules, like, all that stuff is really important for anybody coming up.
facts.
Have a schedule, man. I tell everybody, I tell my kids, I tell everybody, I tell my kids this, man. I tell my youngest, because my youngest lives with me, and I'm like, hey, if I'm ever just in my office, just working, and you want to go outside, come get me. Like, remind me. I have to be reminded. And it's okay for me to admit that. It doesn't make me feel like a bad dad. It actually makes me feel like a better dad, to acknowledge that I'm not perfect as
I
a
agree.
100% focused dad, but when my son comes gets me, and then I go attain and give him 100% of my attention, I feel that is the stepping stone of balance that I can offer to my family, to myself, to our growth and everything. And then with my oldest, he lives with his mom, so I tell him, look, I put in my calendar on my phone, call my son, call him 7 o'clock every day, I call him every day at 7 o'clock. I have that reminder on my phone for those reasons because, like you said, some days you just in here zoned out. I work in a dark office, lights are off, screens are on, I'm glued to the screens. 20 minutes goes by, really 3 hours that go by, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. And so having to learn how to admit that all that stuff that it's not in my mentality going on a daily process, I have to schedule everything in. And so, just learning those balances, man, that's really a key to longevity, is understanding your weaknesses and fixing them as you go along,
Man, you're saying a lot of dope stuff. That's a lot of stuff that people don't understand. Everybody wants to always have this strong image, but no, you know your weaknesses. Know your weaknesses, and then bring people that can make you better. Like I tell my wife what I struggle with sometimes. Like I'm like, look, I'm good at all this stuff, but I'm not always the best organizer. Like, so she'll come up with little things for me, like little baskets to put this in or this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Yeah.
not being an organized person. I'm an artist. My mind is I'm chaotic a little bit,
Yeah.
So it's good to know yourself. Before we get out of here, man, let us know some stuff, more stuff that you got coming up. Let us know where to find you, who you want to shout out. The stage is yours.
Yeah. Most of all, you can find me on my website, NVisionFilms.com. From there, I'm linked into all my stuff, Instagrams, of course, Facebooks, Envision Films. Everything is just really Envision Films. You search that, or directed by Eric Sattler. You search any of those two keywords, of course, you're gonna find my stuff. Hashtag Envision Films. We got Third Coast. My production house we have is called 3 Real Motion. 3 Real Motion will be producing the TV and film aspect of the business. That one is what handles the Hollywood stuff, the stuff that goes to the Netflixes and the Amazons and all that stuff.
Nice.
The show Third Coast will be out this fall, so we're looking to premiere episode 1 in August. So we're excited for that. That one on that platform will be on our own platform called Spotty TV. Spotty TVs will be downloadable on all platforms, phones, websites. We're looking to get it on Apple TV, Roku, stuff like that as well. We'll have more documentaries, films, TV shows as well on there. If you check out my envisionfilms.com, you'll see my other show, Let's Talk About It. Let's Talk About It. We go around and we interview celebrities and hosts. We interview celebrities and influencers who are popular in today's industry of entertainment, and we sit them down, ask them some fun questions, just out of the box questions that they don't normally get. Of course, we, familiarize everybody with them, and then we have them build like their favorite taco on TV. And so, they give us the ingredients, we make them a special taco, they get to name it, goes up into the catalog of tacos. And so you get to see some of your celebrities outside of the norm and what they like to eat and how you can relate to them on a humble, down to earth scale. And yeah, that's about it, man. Just those are my main things right now. Just Envision Films for the music videos, of course. If y'all want to listen to some new music, up and coming artists from the Texas area and surrounding areas, you'll get it all there, man. You'll get a whole variety. That's what we're trying to do. Just keep everybody entertained, and whether they're in COVID or not, we're trying to change the world visually, man.
I got it, man. All right. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you. I'm going to make sure I have all your links in the video and within the podcast on Spotify. We appreciate you. We're going to touch back with you in August when that series drops. And hey, you have a great day, man. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you, man. You have a great day too.
You too, man. Peace.
All right. Peace out.
You can't control how you came in this life. Just make sure your ending is nice. That's the winner's delight. Take flight, keep your vision in sight. Be different, that's my only advice. Yeah.